Here is to another day of existentialism. I like to call it existential day. Where it's one of those days where I detach from reality a little bit more than expected, and I go deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. I can't even speak words that are from this world because my thoughts are almost subconscious that even words cannot describe. Now, let me try to articulate. See, I can't even talk. Let me try to articulate how I came to the fact that I think we are an experiment. Humans or another life form, whatever it is, whatever vessel that is materialized, is an experiment. And the reason why there are multiple universes, multiple realities, or parallel realities, is because we are programmed differently. Whoever that is programming us, and I don't mean the government, I don't mean the basic kind of understanding of how humanity is structured. I mean on a deeper level. I mean in the essence, the source. Okay, the source that we think is holy is actually an intelligent entity, and its design is almost imperfectly imperfect because it's intelligent, not because it's holy, but because it's intelligent to create. We are the spit of that. The source that is within us deeply is, like people say, in God's image. Now that God's image that you want to translate is energy. And that energy, yes, is from source. Source. I don't want to go into the source now, but source is not evil or good. Source is neutral. Source is intelligent. Source is curious. There is no good or bad because if the creator didn't want to create evil, it wouldn't. Simple as that. As they say, if the creator didn't want devil, if the creator didn't want the devil amongst us and the devil's minions amongst us, do you think that the creator isn't capable of making those entities perish into thin air? But, like I said, the creator is neutral, is intelligent. There is no punishment. I always say life is the punishment. Life is the lesson. Life is the experiment. Now, before I go sidetracked or get sidetracked with the good and evil, let's talk a little bit about what made me think that we are an experiment. Now, it's one of those days where I was overindulging into interacting with this reality and losing myself in it and kind of letting my body emerge, or my body merge with my soul. And when I notice myself being in that state, I pull myself out, detach. And when I detach, I really feel like the thoughts that come to mind are not mine. They're almost like reminders that come to mind. And I kind of hear like, take it easy. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. And it's not personal. I feel like this is something that every human being that is capable of practicing awareness and thinking for themselves can have these thoughts. But they might think that it's their own thoughts, you know, to cope with life. But here's what I think. Some of us come to this life as volunteers. And some of us come to this life forced. The way I see it is, you know, when you go into a lab and you see the scientist in the lab kind of have cages of rats and other animals they test on. I know that maybe now they don't do it, you know, they've got humans to do it on now. But you know, when that image that we have when scientists have rats, they train, program to observe behavior or to analyze behavior or to whatever. That's what the human experience is. An experiment. And I was thinking, while I was thinking these thoughts, I was thinking, life, like they say, is a game, right? So you play the game. You play the game. And I was thinking, but what if people don't want to play the game? You know, when you play a game, you just decide, you know, you've had enough and you're just going to turn off the PC or the console or whatever it is that you play. And then, you know, you do something else. But you can't do that with life. So people go through phases of existentialism crisis or mid-age crisis, as they say, or suicide in worst cases. And I was thinking, suicide is interesting. So people that decide not to play the game and they kill themselves or they do something of that sort is them trying to turn off the game because they don't want to play anymore. But the only difference between suicide and enlightened being is that people that commit suicide are too much involved, too much attached, because detachment, the opposite of detachment is attachment. So if you are too attached to the body, the material, you think the only way out is by killing the body, right? No. The soul will be still playing, believe it or not. The soul doesn't leave Earth. The vessel isn't the only thing that's holding the soul from leaving Earth. Death is not it. That's why people come back in next life in another vessel. Because their spirit will still be forced to be on Earth. Or even if you were on another planet, even if it was another form of being, another vessel, you were given that cage, aka the planet that you are meant to be on. You are assigned that place, whatever that place is, whatever universe it is in, you are assigned that place. And I went in deeper and deeper. But what is the purpose of this assignment? Because most of us don't know. Most of us roam the earth not knowing what the fuck they're doing on Earth. And it made me think, Well, how is it that we are assigned something that we don't know? It's like having a deadline and you know you have to submit something without having an assignment sheet or a manual book to tell you how to go about life. It made me really think in depth of the purpose. The purpose. What is the purpose of this experiment? Is it only scientific? Because I truly believe that the soul is mathematically designed, mathematically existing. So it's something that you can create. It's something that you can create. And I mean, there are people that did create life, but ended up dying or killed or whatever. You know, these type of that type of science is not really for the public. But it just made me think, what is the purpose? Why are we experiencing this experiment? And for people like me, I know that I volunteered to be here. I did, but I don't remember why. I know it has to do with humanity, helping humanity to bring awareness to them. But I can't help but feel that there's something missing. That there's some element to my mission, my purpose, that is missing. And I can't figure it out. And I'm sure I'm getting lots of guidance through dreams, through awareness, through science, through a lot of things, through even this detachment or this existentialism recording that I'm doing right now. These are indication for what I'm supposed to do. But is our mission to question things? But what after? What comes after? Okay, we question things. We ask why. Why an experiment? Why do we need to be experimented on? What is the purpose of the experiment? Because surely you're not created in this life to just be thrown into heaven or hell. That is mediocre thinking. The Creator will not create you to punish you. But we are created with a purpose. We are created for a reason. And whether this reason is actually silly or not. And for me, it could be even silly because I'm thinking we could compare ourselves to rats in cages because it is an experiment. Like, I think the ego is too much in the way that makes us think that we are like unreplaceable beings and so special, and that is arrogance. That is arrogance. I feel like our life is very, very much replaceable. And it's not to make you feel bad or whatever you might feel when you realize that life is not really that big of a deal. If you think about it this way, do you care about if a rat dies or not? Do you make it so special? I mean, I know there are activists for animals, and people not wanting animals to be tested, or put things to tests on them, or blah blah. But the reality is different. Like, when they say the cost of science, of something like that, where you kind of sacrifice something for the knowledge, for the science, for the experiment, right? So we shouldn't be so attached to the idea of us, the identity of us, the self. We should be humble. We should be very humble, and not think that we are something that is irreplaceable. Because I get interrupted or distracted or whatever it is. I don't know what the meaning of that is, but I don't really know where I'm going with this. That's why I'm recording it, because I was walking home and I was looking at the sky, and everything felt like unreal. I felt like I am like so detached from the body and this earth that I felt like I don't belong here. I'm just playing a game. When you agree to play a game, or even if you don't agree to play a game, maybe you are like in someone's house and you're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play. But you didn't really want to play. Like, that's how it felt to me for a moment. Well, actually a long moment. So I don't know, like, I feel that we are an experiment of something that is intelligent. The creator is intelligent. Is there someone more intelligent than the creator? Who knows? Because think of it that way. If you have one brilliant scientist, don't you think that there will be more scientists like that scientist? But they could be experimenting differently on different beings, creating life in different forms. Maybe the whole meaning of life would be different for that other scientist. But we are part of one creator who has designed this life, this universe, and is in charge of it. And maybe it's like this life that was created takes care of itself, going into cycles. Or maybe the creator is in charge of creating these cycles to make it work. Who knows? But our essence is almost material. And I don't mean it in a physical sense. I mean it on an energetic level. Energetically, we can be decoded. Energetically, we are coded. Hence the DNA. And that DNA can also be an energy, Like, even energy can be physical. You can measure energy. You can solve an equation energetically, or not energetically, but you can measure an energy and make an equation of that and have like mathematical understanding of that energy. So even our essence in its own way, the soul, the energy, I mean, there are devices that can reveal energy, you know, like spirit boxes and some shit. You know, I don't know how efficient they are, but it's an idea, right? Where you can measure the heat, the differences. How do you explain that some people can see energy? Sensing is different, but when you can use your eyes and hear spirit, isn't that physical? So if it wasn't physical, we wouldn't be able to hear it, see it. So it can materialize, therefore it is material, or can be material, can be measured. So in that sense, it is physical. Do you know what I'm getting at? But we go back to the main question. What is the point of this experiment? Is it just to lead humanity to a higher consciousness? And then what? And then what? Let's live in the future and pretend that everyone is connected with oneness. There is peace. There is unity. And then what? Does the end of the experience or the end of the experiment finish? Is that it? Because what it feels like to me right now is like trained rats. We are trained to live life in a particular style depending on our circumstance. And then some of us could teach other rats, aka humans, but you know the analogy that I'm getting at, to behave in a certain way, to live life more comfortably, more contently, more peacefully. And then what? What comes after that teaching? What comes after reaching that level of peacefulness and contentment? Does the experiment end? Or is there more and more to do after that? What if we reach a point where you can't advance humanity anymore? And let's say humanity goes to the level of consciousness and awareness and unity and peacefulness to the max level. What then? Does the game end? Do we all go to heaven? What the fuck? You know how absurd that sounds? Like, or is it like constant suffering and constant back and forth and constant cycles of ups and downs? And in this case, is life a punishment? Because I've had that thought for a long time. That life is merely a punishment. That perhaps maybe life is the waiting list for the real life that comes after. You know, when you finish the lifetimes, one lifetime after the other, when you finish those and you reach your maximum potential state of being, which is in Buddhism what they consider to be heaven, is that you master life to the point where you cannot master anymore, and then you become part of the universe, which is aka heaven. You know, you are one with the whole universe, and the awareness comes with that. But even when you get to that point, what then? What then? What's the point of that? What happens after that? If nothing happens after that, then what does it all mean? Like, I am getting like really, like the why is kind of makes me just more confused than I was before. I just don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest with you. I just don't. Like, these are the thoughts that come to my mind when I'm detaching or experiencing an out of body. I just don't feel that I truly exist here. And it's not like in the delusional sense. The detachment that I feels pretty much real. As in, like, what am I doing here? Like, yes, I know that I have a mission, but what is the point? What is the point? I could be the freaking shepherd that leads the sheep to the freaking slaughterhouse. That could be my mission for all I know. But, like, what is the fucking point? You know what I mean? But then after I have these thoughts, I just surrender to the unknown and just do my thing. Do what I do best, do what I do naturally, and continue with my programming. And when I say programming, I don't mean the programming that is made by humans, but that is made by the creator, by the design, by the source that I am connecting to on an energetic level. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I think I should stop the out of body right now and just go back to reality as we know it, right?